Hello everybody, it is I, your favorite VTuber Android Arrowhead, and I'm back with more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations Case 3 turnabout recipe for a turnabout, I don't know. Anyway, we're back. Now, what happened? Basically, Maggie was put into prison because Phoenix lost the case for her, but it wasn't Phoenix, it was a Yakuza guy who vaguely resembles Phoenix that apparently no one ever figured out that wasn't him. Then, we are now investigating stuff for that case, I think, or a separate case that is related. No, it's the same case, right? That's what it is. She did not poison someone. There was a guy there with a scouter. Scouter, barely know her. And now we're in court to talk about stuff. So, January 7th, 9:48 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 1. Oh, I see. I guess I should have expected this. Nobody saw the other guy, huh? But he was there when I took the coffee over, sir. Scout's honor. Oh, because he has a scouter? Yeah. Maggie! Detective Gumshoe? Are you doing alright? How you feeling? As if you need to ask either question, sir. Wait, why is she in a maid outfit if she's in prison? Man, prison's really changed since I've been there. Don't let him get you down, Maggie. Don't forget to eat well, okay? Oh, hey there. Hey there, pal. That's how you do the Gumshoe voice. Roger. And you! Yes? You better square this case away. Got it, pal? You better square this case away. Got it, pal? Maggie's innocent, you hear? If you screw up, then I'll be doing some squaring away myself. Squaring away some paperwork for your arrest. Wait, huh? I think he's serious. Hey, detective. You're on our side for once, right? Wait, Maya, did you forget all the last couple of games? When is he against us? When? Yep. So you'll be able to help Maggie out, right? Really? Can you, sir? Oh, of course. I've got the situation under control. I'm gonna be the first witness on the stand today. If something I say doesn't mesh with the facts, make sure you point it out, alright? Sure. Okay, we're forming a united front today, pal. You get me? I can't tell you how grateful I am, sir. I've always admired you so much, detective. I know I can count on you. Looks like it should all go pretty smoothly today, huh? I can only wish. Yeah, Phoenix said like 2 words that whole time. January 7th, 10 o'clock a.m., 12 minutes later. District Court, Courtroom Number 4. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Are you gonna say something? Yep. Bitter. Mr. Wright? Hey, Zach Gray. That's where his girlfriend's gonna... Yeah, I date maids exclusively. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Yes, Your Honor? What's wrong? Nothing. It's just whenever I addressed you in the previous trial, your response was, "You talking to me?" It was a little, well, intimidating. No, that wasn't me. That was the phony Phoenix. I see. So our trusty Phoenix Wright is back with us now, is he? Our trusty? So, Mr. Godot, your opening statement, please. Mr. Trite, whether you're fake or the real deal, we'll find out soon enough through this trial today. But I can already tell you, I'm the real Phoenix Wright. I wasn't questioning whether you're Phoenix Wright or not. I was questioning whether you had studied law or not. Whether you had studied law or not. That's what I intend to find out. Based on these last couple of games, I almost would say probably not. There's no denying it. Behind that mask is a man who really hates me for some reason or another. As everyone is aware, the court has already given its verdict on this case once. Therefore, I won't stand for any irrelevant testimony during this retrial. Nor will I stand for a simple repetition of the evidence presented in the last trial. I'm not planning on repeating anything that phony me said. Trust me. Now then, Mr. Godot, please summon your first witness. Hey there, pal. Let's start with the formalities then, shall we? Name and occupation. Witness, state your name for the court. Huh? Oh, sorry, sir. The name's Police Department Detective. Occupation, Dick Gumshoe. I feel like I'm doing the voice a little wrong, but I'll get into it. All the way around, Detective. Huh? Oh, sorry. Anyway, I'm the officer in charge of this case since yesterday, sir. Since yesterday? Yeah, the guy who was on the initial investigation's tied up with another case now. I hope Gumshoe's really got everything under control, for everyone's sake. I see. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you outline for the court the basic facts of the case? Yes, sir. The victim's name was Glenn Elg. Okay, wait, what's the... Oh, it's because it's a palindrome? Okay. He was a professional programmer. He was on the payroll of Blue Screens Inc., a local company. Apparently, their computers are terrible, for relatively obvious reasons. This is the victim's autopsy report. The court accepts this into evidence. Glenn's autopsy report added to the court record. Died of potassium cyanide poisoning, death was between 1:30 and 2:30 p.m. Okay. And here are the floor plans of the restaurant. When the incident took place, the victim was sitting right here. The poisoned coffee was brought over to him by the, by the waitress. The waitress being the accused. Yeah. The victim died from poisoning almost immediately after he took a sip of the coffee. At the time of the incident, there were 2 other people in the restaurant. Mr. John Armstrong, the owner and chef, and a regular by the name of Mr. Victor Kudo. Hey, Firewall, welcome to the stream. How you doing? I'm doing just fine. Just trying to solve this case with the Yakuza version of Phoenix Wright. It still seems to be a very straightforward case to me. Trapian floor plans added to the court record. Come, detective. Take up this hammer. And nail the defendant's coffin shut with your own 2 hands. Now then, Detective Gumshoe, let's have your testimony. Yes, sir. The incident. When the incident took place, the victim was all alone at this table, sir. You understand that the guy, Glenn Elg, was listening to the radio at the time. Traces of poison were found in his coffee cup. And we found what we found was potassium cyanide. That stuff really packs a punch. And, it looks like Miss Bird might have had well, some kind of a motive. I know I'm not doing too great. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Want to talk about it? Using the dark, aromatic depths of coffee to conceal the poison. Lassie lady. You could have a guy murdered in a coffee factory and he'd still be like, coffee. I tell you what, that killer has a good sense of taste. The facts of this case seem to be ironclad, even though I've seen no evidence at the moment for it. Mr. Wright, I would ask you to begin your cross-examination, but... Yes? Please, no intimidation tricks this time around. Is that understood? I already told you, that wasn't me! The incident. Alright, let's see. Incorrect, we know there was another dude. Can I stop you for just a minute? Huh? What is it? Did I say something that contradicts the evidence? So desperate for that to be true, he's practically crying. Your testimony just now doesn't match the testimony given by Miss Bird. She claims there was another man at the victim's table. Yeah, that's what she said. And what killer wouldn't say that when faced with a homicide conviction? With respect, I just don't like how I managed the last few years of my life, among other things. See, I've been there too. Yeah, you know, it's like sometimes I feel like I should have, like, practiced more, or, like, taken a different path career-wise, but I don't know. I think, for me at least, not sure if this would help you, but when I'm at that point, I just try to think of all the things that I liked that have happened over the last couple of years. And granted, I have had things that I liked, but ultimately, not necessarily everyone would. What I'm trying to get across here is that, like, you may not like where your life ended up, or how things have gone recently, but there always exists the chance for you to change these things, I guess. Or maybe not, but regardless, I guess just try to think of things that make you happy, or think about, ideally, things that you would like to do to make things better. What killer wouldn't say that when faced with a homicide conviction? Hey! Sadly, your testimony isn't supported by the owner or the other customer. Isn't that right, Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, it's true. We had two testimonies tie up on that. They both said there was no other guy at the table. What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? Harder! Is never not the answer. Well, maybe the other witnesses just missed him. Perhaps their view of the victim's table was obscured in some way. Huh. That argument is as weak as the coffee at Tribulations, right? I have here in my possession a ticket. A ticket? It's more like a photo to me. Yes, a one-way ticket to Guiltyville. Population, the defendant. This is a photograph taken from near the entrance to the kitchen. This is the scene as witnessed by the chef moments after the poisoning took place, correct? I think the court will agree that such a clear view of the scene of the crime... How, Mr. Trite, could anyone have overlooked the second person at the table? I mean, maybe he left before the picture was taken? Like, what? Is that not believable? It certainly seems to show the victim's table extremely clearly. You understand that the guy, Glenn L., was listening to the radio at the time. He was listening to his radio, you say? Yeah, he had a portable radio in his chest pocket. Maggie told us that too, didn't she? Something about how one of them had some sort of earpiece? What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? Press harder! And what was it that the victim was listening to on the radio, Detective Gumshoe? Huh? How should I know? Thanks a lot. We're now one step closer to the middle of nowhere. Hey, at least we're in the middle. You know, that's... This isn't going very well, is it? Detective, could you perhaps tell us about the poison and how it was used? So, traces of the poison were found in the coffee cup and nowhere else? Not sure I get you, pal. Well, was the poison a liquid, or was it a powder? If I had to put it in layman's terms, I'd say it was a powdery substance. You could have just said powder. Anyway. So the poison could have been in anything that was on the table. Sugar, salt, pepper. Huh. You put salt and pepper in your coffee, Trite? I mean, I do. I'd be okay with that. I like both of those things. The victim took his coffee black, with no sugar. It seems that the poison could only have been in the coffee. What should I do? Should I press... Yes, you should press harder. Phoenix, what do you think that means? Do you really remember what happens in this game? It's been so long. I know bits and pieces from, like, various memes, but I don't know most of what's gonna happen. This is mostly Uncharted territory for me. Are you absolutely certain that the victim even drank any of his coffee? Huh? What do you mean? Well, according to this file, the poison was found in the victim's coffee cup. But what proof is there that the victim ever drank any of it, Phoenix? Phoenix. Well, okay, technically, necessarily, it is not absolute that he drank the coffee, but... Oh, hey, you're right! Yeah, that's what I was thinking. In case you were wondering, that last objection was for the detective there. Huh? Me? Oh, hey, you're right. You may be fooling the court, but I'm not falling for it. You have the time to waste, you have the time to present that piece of evidence. That piece, sir? Yes, that piece. What piece was it again? Gulp. This! Should I be grateful this coffee's only hot enough to give me first-degree burns? Oh, now I remember. This is the victim's coffee cup. Yes, the victim's cup. Good look at the rim. Oh, yes, it's unmistakable. There's clearly a coffee stain on it. Conclusive proof that the victim did drink the poison coffee that was in this cup. The victim gulped down the bitter death that the waitress brought to him. Like this. Unfortunately, my coffee's also poisoned, and therefore... For the record, the only prints on the cup were the victims and the defendants. Upon further investigation of this cup, we found a certain chemical substance. What we found was potassium cyanide. This stuff really packs a punch. Potassium cyanide? I've heard of that chemical before. Exactly how strong is this poison, Detective Gumshoe? It's, well, that stuff's lethal. Eat too much in your history. How much is too much? Lethal dose is 0.2 grams. Say it in American. That's about enough to finish anyone off. 0.2 grams? How much is that? See, not even Maya knows. You know when you swab your ears for earwax? Yeah, about that much. Earwax, huh? That's like something Gumshoe's got an abundance of. Man, why you gotta play him like that? That's just... That was uncalled for, Phoenix. What was the point of saying that? Such a small quantity of poison could have been concealed anywhere. And, it looks like Miss Bird might have had, well, some kind of a motive. Some kind of a motive? Yeah, but if you ask me, it's been blown way out of proportion. You know what my golden rule is, Detective? You know what my golden rule is, Detective? Chuck out a bad cup of coffee. You can always get another. Huh? I don't get it. I don't get it. Saying we can always get another witness on the stand if we have to chuck you out. So stick to the facts, Detective. Now then, what was Miss Bird's motive? Come on, Gumshoe. She was, they said she wanted to steal a lottery ticket. I knew it. That's what we heard yesterday, too. He disappeared from the scene of the crime. And it wasn't just any lottery ticket. It was a winning ticket for $500,000. Oh, it's that many ounces. It's 0.00705479239 ounces. Damn. I don't even know how much an ounce is, but I guess it's more than 0.2 grams. Anyway. Mr. Armstrong knew about the ticket too, didn't he? Because Phoenix likes throwing shade, but he can't stand the roast back. Yeah, that's about right. Especially throwing shade on Gumshoe, even though Gumshoe is like one of the nicest people he knows, for the most part. But he stole the wrong one. Then, is it possible Maggie stole the winning one? What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? Press harder! Do it better, bigger, faster, harder, stronger. Alright. Wait a minute. The mere fact that the lottery ticket disappeared in no way implicates my client. Huh. I have here in my hand the very ticket in question. I've already cashed it. Don't ask about it. That's a $500,000 lottery ticket. One of the female police officers found it when she was conducting a search of the defendant. What? Oh boy. Order! 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 I only said it twice. I don't know why I said it the third time. Huh. She's quite a lucky bird, our little waitress. Or should I say Maggie Bird? You will submit that ticket as evidence to the court immediately. In fact, give it to me right now. I'll take care of it. You better keep an eye on that ticket. The way the judge's voice is quivering. How much do you think the judge gets paid? Like, I mean, think about it. Like, how much? Obviously more than Phoenix, but... Huh. Oh well. This ticket was presented to the court in the previous trial, too. But it feels heavier now somehow. $500,000, you say? It's just a scrap of paper. What matters is where it was found, Your Honor. That's on Maggie's person, unfortunately. That's enough. The facts of this case seem overwhelmingly clear to me. The defendant had ample opportunity to commit the crime of which she is charged. Furthermore, it seems beyond reasonable doubt that she did indeed commit this crime. I feel like an old man who knows the score. There's also the matter of the $500,000 lottery ticket, which I am keeping for various and assorted reasons. That alone provides a very credible motive. I mean, for that sum of money, I might even be tempted to... Even I might be tempted to bend the rules. I don't mind an old man who's weak to the siren call of money. Not good, Nick. The evidence against Maggie is starting to pile up fast. Yeah, it's because the court has ruled guilty once already. I'd say it's about time to wrap up this repeat performance. With one final decisive piece of evidence. He's got more evidence against Maggie? This is the apron of the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time. Wow, it's not the cleanest apron I've ever seen. That would have to be the apron that... Like, imagine Maya just has a list of all the aprons she's seen, like, rated on cleanliness. And there was the one in the shop on 4th, and then the one in, you know, the restaurant. There was one at McDonald's that was pretty good. Okay, terrible jokes aside. That stain looks like... It can't be blood, can it? Huh. It seems the star of our play was a little flustered. And somehow spilled coffee on herself. The coffee? That's not exactly the first thing that caught my eye. Of course, coffee stain isn't the most interesting thing about this apron. It's about what's sewn on the inside. No, there's something else that stands out even more. Something else? I presume you mean... Of course, I'm referring to the pocket. The pocket? A search carried out right after the incident uncovered this. Potassium cyanide. Killer poison. The very poison used by the killer was in her apron pocket. Bottle of poison in Maggie's pocket? Yeah, and Maggie's prints were the only ones on it. What? Order! 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 The court will accept these items into evidence. Apron added to the court record. Potassium cyanide added to the court record. There's something still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor! The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over this apron. I like to imagine that he just can't see it because his visor's all red. That's ridiculous! No one told me anything about a bloodstain. You don't need to be told. Just look at it. Well, detective? Could this stain really be blood? No way, sir. It's just ketchup, sir. Ketchup? You must have gotten some on our apron while taking someone their breakfast that day. You could have spoken up a little sooner, Detective Gumshoe. Well, something like that again, and I'll have you drink 17 cups of ketchup, witness. Like the measurement cup or like a cup? I thought everyone knew what it was already. I haven't seen anything yet to make me doubt the last ruling I made in this case. Motive, the opportunity, and the supporting evidence. They've all been clearly established. Well, Trite. Seems you really are a phony after all. You really know how to drive a man nuts. Yeah, see, he definitely can't take that shade. Exactly. You were right, Firewall. Witness, please continue with your Witness, please continue with your testimony. Describe for the court the crime scene and the findings of your investigation there. The investigation. The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kinda scary old man, sir. Poor Maggie had passed out from the shock. Must have been real tough on her. The victim didn't have any identification on him. We figured out who he was pretty quick, and the investigation went smoothly. When Maggie was searched, we found the lottery ticket and the bottle of poison. And that was it. There was nothing else missing from the crime scene. You identified the victim and secured your prime suspect. Very good. Last chance to convince the court you're a real lawyer, Trite. Don't count on any more cross-examinations after this one. So, let the fun begin. Investigation. Let's see. Alright. Let's press him. Scary old man, Detective Gumshoe? He's an old man who's a regular at the restaurant where the incident happened. We're obviously talking about the same old man. Officers were dispatched right after the report came in, but the old guy still made a fuss. What took you so long? Then he hurled abuse at them, and seeds. Whose seed? I think the voice you're giving Godot really suits him. Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to give him like a J. Jonah Jameson kind of thing, because I feel like the way he talks is just kind of weird, but... I don't know, maybe like... I'll workshop it. Well, by way of recommendation, what would you say? More smooth. Oh yeah, like, See, that's the problem, Trite. You're not a real lawyer. I'll work on it. Seeds. Huh. It was nothing. I caught each one with my teeth. I guess not even the mighty Godot can avoid being attacked by that guy. The old man was the only other customer in the place at the time. He took his time finding a payphone, apparently, so he was late to reporting the crime. Okay, so she passed out from the shock. How long was the defendant unconscious for? The officers got to the crime scene around 2:40. Maggie was still out cold in the kitchen at the time. It took another 10 minutes or so before she came to. I would have liked to have been on the scene myself. I bet you would have liked to have carried out the search, too. I would have loved to see Maggie asleep like that. All pretty and peaceful. Gumshoe, she's right next to me. You're a professional detective, Gumshoe, not a professional bird watcher. Save the romantics for your own time, detective. All we need to know about the investigation. Oops, I guess I'm pretty red right now, aren't I? Didn't have any identification on him, that's interesting. He didn't have any? Are you saying that it was stolen, then? No, I don't think so. The victim didn't have a driver's license or even a credit card on him, pal. All he had was 58 cents in his wallet. 58 cents? Yeah. I can't believe I found someone with less in their wallet than me, pal. The victim sounds like he was a thoroughly miserable young man. Or some kind of outlaw. Why not give him a bit of an edge? I think I'm onto something here. Okay. Wait a sec. Huh? Did I say something dumb again? Let me paraphrase what you just testified to this court. The victim didn't have any form of ID on him. That's basically what you said, right? Yes? Yeah, basically. In that case, how were you able to identify the victim so quickly? Oh, that. He's so let down, he's got the whole sagging shoulders and puppy eyes thing going. There was a prescription bag on the victim's table along with the lottery ticket. It seems Mr. Glenn Elk visited his doctor before he went to Tribulations. You know, I see what you're saying. I think the smooth voice kind of fits him more. Kind of like a, hey, how you doing? Sort of thing. The kind of guy who drinks coffee. Not that I would know, because I don't. I got the victim's name from the medical records of the doc who prescribed the meds. That's a reliable enough source for the court. What should I do? Should I leave this one alone or ask to hear more? So what sort of medicine was in the bag? Well, actually the bag we found was empty. Huh? Yeah, completely empty. It was completely empty? Huh. Victim's prescription bag added to the court record. So maybe the potassium cyanide was in that. Huh. You're entering an empty paper bag. No. I forgot I was doing the voice. Oh boy. You're entering an empty paper bag as evidence? Desperate are you, trite? Desperate are you, trite? Now, what happened with the investigation after that, detective? That's a really good comparison. I'm trying to do a seductive Kronk and... Oh! I gotcha. Alright. Seductive Kronk. Oh, yeah, it's all coming together. Now, what happened with the investigation after that, detective? When Maggie was searched, we found the lottery ticket in the bottle of poison. But the defendant had been passed out for a while, correct? In that case, isn't it possible someone planted the evidence in Maggie's pocket? Hey, yeah, you nailed it, pal. Happens to me all the time. What? We had a department party the other day, and when I got home, I was wearing the boss's shoes. You were... what? Objection. Keep up this crazy testimony, detective, and those shoes will end up down your throat. Wait, no, I need to go sexier. I need to go sexy. Hold on. Keep up this crazy testimony, detective, and those shoes will end up down your throat. I'm hot. I drink coffee. I drink hot coffee. Hi there. Hey. Sorry. So, trite, someone planted the evidence in Maggie's pocket? That's a pretty bold statement. Care to back it up with some evidence? My evidence is that I made it the fuck up. That's a pretty bold statement. Oh wait, no, I gotta say this in the voice, you know? That's a pretty bold statement. Care to back it up with some evidence? Well, my evidence is that I made it the fuck up. I'd love to, if I had any. It appears you have no evidence to support your theory, Mr. Wright. Continue with your testimony, witness. And that was it. There's nothing else missing from the crime scene. So the $500,000 lottery ticket and the bottle of poison were accounted for? Yeah. Interesting. It's true that those two items are accounted for. But wasn't there another lottery ticket that was stolen that day? Oh, yeah. The one the restaurant owner took. He won a whole dollar with it. What a lucky guy, huh? And they're just going to let him get away with it? It was just $1, detective. I guess no one cares when it's that little. Except for Gumshoe. I don't find a hole in his testimony. The judge is gonna hand down his verdict. Gumshoe isn't giving us anything to work with. We can't find any contradictions if he doesn't give us something. Yeah, that's true. But Maggie and Gumshoe are like Dumb and Dumber. Only hope is that they were so dumb they missed something obvious. Come on, Gumshoe, be the dumbest you've ever been! Again, pretty mean considering how much he's helped us in the past. 225, okay. Didn't have any identification on him. Let's see. Glen Elk, 28. And the lotto ticket and the bottle of poison. Okay, anything on there to... Wait, do they have her fingerprints on the lottery ticket? Well, no. But this does shit. Has a small pocket, but big stains. Is anything else missing? Could that be something? No, let's keep looking. Perhaps? Fuck! Yeah, I know it's not accurate. Damn it. Let's see. Didn't have any identification on him, then... Yeah, how do you know... Good. Bag is empty. Where is then the contradiction on this? Passed out from the shock. Must have been real tough for her. Let's see. Guilty of the murder thanks to the phony me. Maggie had apparently never even seen him before. Huh. Kind of scary old man. I mean, none of this really seems like it doesn't work, except for maybe the autopsy report. Of course, it's between 130 and 225. Fuck! Well, it has to be before 230 then. That's not an issue in this case. Of the scene near the kitchen. They apparently had enough to take a picture of the guy, so... Small pocket. So how would she hide all of that in that one pocket? From this moment on, you don't know what's happening in the story, right? I haven't known since the first case of this game, so... For the last case we did and this one, I have no idea what we're doing here. Fuck! I thought she might have gotten coffee on the ticket, or like, because there's only a small pocket, it wouldn't... Oh, I should probably ask about the prescription with the medical insurance. Shit. Damn it. Hold on. I got it. Oh, wait, what? Huh? I guess I already asked the right question about that. Oh wait, I guess I selected the right thing again. Okay. I think Phoenix just said... They do Larry really dirty in this game for some reason. Oh, Larry Butts? Yeah, they do him pretty dirty in most of it, to be fair. He's kind of like the guy whose life sucks. Damn it! I am already on my last thing. This is the first thing I have to object to. Alright, just gonna... for safety. I've already tried, whatchamacallit, going to the end of this just to make sure that it's not one of those where it's like, oh, you just have to press everything and then you win. Didn't have any identification on him. Phoenix said he thought he was onto something here. He thinks he's onto something here. Let's see. In the victim and Maggie's fingerprints. Huh. Actually, wait. Big question here. How do we know this wasn't from the victim? Fuck. No, I'm just gonna load. Didn't have any identification on him. Fuck. Oh boy, this is gonna be a long one. I have no idea which of these might do it. Okay, let's see. Just a brief recap. We got who he was pretty quickly. Investigation went smoothly. Maggie was searched. They found the poison and... nothing else missing from the crime scene. Bottle poison were accounted for. What did he say that was stupid? Kind of scary old man. I mean... he was there, yeah. Passed out from the shock. Did I do this one? Huh. I think, what would work for this? We don't know. Nothing else missing from the crime scene except... of fucking course that was it. Detective Gumshoe, I think I should point something out to you. There is just one small contradiction in your testimony, which took me several tries to find, but disregard that. Oh, finally! I'm getting all anxious just waiting, so hurry up, will ya? You testified that nothing else was missing from the crime scene. However, the prescription bag you mentioned was empty. Did the officers recover the medicine from the scene of the crime later? No, they didn't. The victim was given a prescription right before going to Tribulations. Romero Brain Blast, yeah. Brain Blast! Or the one from Jimmy Neutron. I was doing a Biden Blast joke, god damn it. Alright, Where, then, did the medicine disappear to? You're too cool, pal! Indeed, due consideration wasn't given to the victim's prescription in the previous trial. Witness, why do you always overlook such vital pieces of evidence? I guess that's the most careless thing I've done so far, huh? So far, he plans on making more careless mistakes later. The victim was killed by poison, and the victim's medicine mysteriously disappeared. The victim's own prescription could have been the lethal poison itself. Ayo? Order! Order! Well, Mr. Godot, what do you have to say to that? Huh. Huh. That's all. That's all. What? Read for the court the name of the clinic on the prescription bag, if you will. If game saves count as alternate universe, that means Phoenix got the answer really quickly in this universe. After another 4 failed attempts. The name of the thing? New Year Otolaryngological Clinic. Otolaryngological? Just what kind of illness was the victim suffering from, Mr. Godot? Hardly an illness, Your Honor. More like a bitter war wound, you could say. A war wound? The day before the incident, Mr. Elg found himself in a fight. He took a blow to the side of the head and ruptured his eardrum. Oh yeah, that sucks. I knew a guy ruptured his eardrum, and the guy couldn't walk straight for a week because it messes with your balance or something like that. Now, was it kind of funny watching him fall over? Admittedly, you know, I'll say yes. But I felt bad for him because he wasn't that bad of a dude. Anyway, I think he laughed about it too, so there's that. But then what on earth was the prescription he was given? The victim suffered from a terminal illness named Ligma, Your Honor. What is that? What is what, Your Honor? What is the thing you just said? Ligma? Ligma balls! God damn it! Then what on earth was the prescription he was given? It was a cream that was to be applied topically inside his ear canal. Not to be ingested. Not to be ingested. An eardrum's heal within like 2 to 3 days. From what I hear, it depends, like, based on the severity of how much it was broken. And from what I hear, But, sometimes, apparently, if it's, like, if there's enough trauma to the eardrum, it can take, like, a month or 2. Which I imagine would be pretty difficult to, you know, live with for a while. What? It's mentioned in the autopsy report, if you read the fine print. We found traces of the medication in the victim's left ear. Oh yes, here it is, in very, very fine print. It seems Mr. L correctly applied some of this medication while he was at Tribulations. Therefore, it would be absurd to believe that he would have eaten his medication. You know what would be hilarious bit in modern turning games for the judge to be oblivious to everything but Zoomer lingo. Oh yes, I know what the GAT is. Or they have like the judge's grandchild or something show up to the trial and he's like, for show, Gramps, I'm the one to buckle my shoe with the GAT. Nah, I'd win. And then Phoenix just gets the guy guilty so they can get him out of the courtroom. The one time he's willing to lose a case. Other than the other time he was willing to lose a case. Anyway. It seems that this medication is irrelevant to the case after all. No. Nick. If you don't think of something quick, it'll all be over. She's right. I can't get away with any old weak objection. What should I do? Push the medication, I guess? Only moments ago, Mr. Godot made the following statement. It seems Mr. L correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Tribulations. If that's the case, then why was the medication not found at the scene of the crime? But the medication in question was for topical use inside the ear canal.
Objection!
I can do that too. Alright. That doesn't change the fact that it could not be found at the scene of the crime scene. However insignificant it may be, however insignificant it may seem, it's a lawyer's duty to pursue the truth. You know as well as I do that the medication is irrelevant. It hardly seems likely that a prescription drug would contain potassium cyanide. It hardly seems likely that a prescription drug would contain potassium cyanide. It hardly seems likely that the coffee the waitress served would contain it either. But it did. The possibility is undeniable. I'm gonna have to go back to my role as Cyclops in the X-Men show. That's enough. Mr. Godot, is the detective the only witness the prosecution wishes to call? Mr. Godot? I got my own witness I'd like to call, sir. He's the old man who was there in the restaurant on the day of the murder. Victor Kudo, the pigeon hater? Very well. The matter of the disappearing medication seems little more than trivial at best. However, it wasn't explored at all in the previous trial, and that is something that bothers me.
Yay! Good job, Nick.
The court will adjourn for a 10-minute recess, after which we will hear the prosecution's next witness. Huh. I suppose this means I'll have to finish you off in my last 6 cups. Court is adjourned for recess. Sexy Kronk. January 7th, 11:03 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 1.
Phew. That was close.
Tell me about it. I nearly died in there.
That's my line, sir. No, it's my line. I think I really did die a little bit.
Well, hey, we got pearls. We could always summon you back.
Looks like we all nearly died in there. I can't believe Detective Gumshoe. How could he betray us like that? Huh? He said he'd help me, but he totally set me up.
I don't think he meant to do that, Maggie. He was backed into a corner. I mean, the guy's got to do his job, right?
Okay, I know all about lies and betrayal. I've had them my whole life. But it really hurt this time. Like, it felt like someone punched me hard in the stomach. I hate that guy. I don't ever want to see him again.
Poor Gumshoe.
So the next witness is going to be that old guy from the park, right?
Yeah, Mr. Kudo. Lover of waitress outfits and projectile seeds. Projectile seed?
I bet he's gonna be really stubborn. I mean, he's pretty set in his ways, you know? Yeah, he's a big old grouch. Are you gonna be able to handle him, Nick?
Yeah, I can take whatever he throws at me. Even those never-ending bird seeds. And let's do this. Time to fight the elderly. January 7th, 11:15 a.m. District Court, Court Number 4. All rise for the honorary judge. Judge's nephew to Maya, who I believe is in her 30s at the end of the timeline. What's good, shawty? Trying to get clapped by Flop a Coin Investor? Also, Cancel Tilt Max Money Max Non Norwood Bone Smash Mulord on NoFab. And Maya's like, what? She just summons Mia immediately just to have someone else to deal with the problem. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Maggie Bird. Mr. Godot, your next witness, please. The prosecution calls the lucky old-timer who caught the show over a cup of coffee. Will the witness please take the stand? I remember when I took the stand. Name and occupation, if you don't mind.
My name's Victor Kudo, born and bred in the land of the rising sun.
Honor and duty are what make me. Mind you, I can be quite emotional at times too.
I just make him sound like Gumshoe. Hold on, I should do a different voice. We don't need to hear about that, Mr. Kudo. Just tell the court your occupation.
My occupation? Gah, listen, youngin. How much do you think do you think there is for an kimono embroidery here?
I don't know. I still need to go weirder with it. Oi. No, I already did that. That's... Let's go with...
That's what I do, or I did back in Japan. Before I moved out of Japan to here.
The Victor is canonically one of the few actual Japanese natives in the localized version. Apparently, yeah, he's from like Japan, and not Japanifornia. Back in Japan, that implies that Japan exists in this world, just not here. Which, again, begs the question, where the hell are they?
I embroidered family crests on kimonos. My ancestors were embroidering kimonos before this country even existed.
So we're not in Japan. We are in the States. Theoretically.
Wow, a real craftsman. They're a dying breed. Hey, maybe you could embroider my costume sometime.
I mean, hey, yeah, go for it.
Anyway, like I said, there's not much demand for that kind of thing here. Try to take a job working at the cash register at a burger joint. Pretending to smile.
That burger joint would have been better off putting him in the kitchen.
Now that witness, where were you in the restaurant at the time of the incident? Ah, yes. I was eating some seeds over a cup of Javachino.
Javachino, is that really what they call it? Is that a word?
Seeds? What do you think these are, hmm? I see,
So you saw everything that happened? So, you saw everything that happened, Gramps?
Did I? Oh, yes, I did. I saw it all.
Then please tell the court. We're all ears.
Sure, I'll tell you. I'll tell you every last detail.
He's really getting into this. Oh boy. What I witnessed.
The young man was reading the sports paper. The serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. The man took one sip of it, looked like he was in terrible pain, and then collapsed. That's the serving girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well.
Mr. Kudo, she is not a serving girl. Please refer to her as a waitress. Because Japanifornia is like a Chinatown of sorts, a U.S. city that's filled with Japanese customs and traditions because Japanese people mostly emigrated there. Wait, Japanifornia is like a real place? I thought it was just a joke in the Ace Attorney fandoms, like the whole eat your hamburgers, Apollo sort of thing. Eat your hamburgers, Apollo. But, yeah, that does make sense. You know what? That's a reasonable explanation.
Gah, you're as bad as the rest of them. All these newfangled words. What's wrong with the old-fashioned ones, huh? I'm gonna call her a wench.
Just imagine my next video tomorrow, like, hey guys, I didn't realize wench was a slur when I said it on stream yesterday. You know, that was not cool. I'm not gonna apologize, but I do think it's funny when people say wench. Yeah.
Newfangled? Let's talk of radios and glasses. It's wireless and spectacles, I tell you.
Wait, what? Wait, how are radios wireless? What, huh?
Excuse me? Listen to me, everyone. Don't forget the old values. Don't let the good old days slip away.
Well,
I think it's time to begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Main location for sure, but has the same spirit as Chinatown. That makes sense. Yeah. I think that's a good explanation for it. Yes, Your Honor. I have still only 1 health. So you saw the victim then? You saw Mr. Glen Elg?
I wanted to know if Guts and Brawn retained his championship or not.
So he was looking at the sports paper the victim was reading, huh? And at the location in question... There are partitions between the tables on the same side of the restaurant, right?
So what if there are?
If you say that you could see the victim... That means you were sitting at a table on the other side of the restaurant, correct?
Ha! I go to that place to drink Yavachino. I don't go to sit. I don't remember which table I was sitting at.
You mean you go there to eye the waitress? You mean you go there to eye the waitress? Mr. Kudo, that's a very grave accusation. Are you sure about what you saw?
Victor Kudo never makes mistakes. I dot every T and cross every I.
I see.
My eyesight's fine. The doctor said I only need spectacles for reading and driving. You know, the 2 things you need to see for.
I bet his eyes are only really fine when he's scoping out a waitress.
And I saw what the serving girl put in the Javachino as well.
I bet I know what's coming up, and something tells me I'm not gonna like it. Your Honor, we need more clarification on what was put into the victim's coffee. I'd like to ask the witness what I'd like to ask the witness to add what he knows about this to his testimony.
I agree. Witness, will you enlighten us, please? Sure.
White powder. That actually lines up with it. Well, let's press him on this. Did she really put that into the coffee?
You doubted me, boy? She got a small brown bottle and sprinkled it in.
Couldn't she have been adding sugar?
Sugar? In a small brown bottle like that?
I keep my sugar in a small brown bottle.
Like that?
Witness, could you please describe the bottle in more concrete terms? Huh. A bottle like this, perhaps?
Oh, there it is. That's the one.
Oh, Godot, you bastard.
That's the bottle of potassium cyanide, I presume.
So what did the accused put into the coffee? I think it's clear, don't you? He took just 1 sip?
You youngins, you waste everything. Those Javachinos cost $8.
$8? For 1 cup? The fuck kind of money? Well, I guess he just won the lottery, so there's that, but...
In the good old days, we would have drank every last drop, eaten the cup, and then died.
Probably because he ate the cup. Congratulations, you have earned the title of battiest man to grace the courtroom. You will go head-to-head with Win the Old Bag in the finals of battiest person in the courtroom at a later date. So it was an immediate death. Well, with potassium cyanide, I suppose that is possible.
Oh, yes. He slumped over without so much as a twitch. I felt the Javachino I just drank turn sour in my stomach.
Oh, yes. I know that feeling. I like to imagine Godot just hears coffee and is like, yeah, it's a good thing.
And the waitress, I presume she is...
You said I remember her well in reference to the waitress. Do you have any particular features that you can identify her by?
Particular features? It's a disgrace, that's what it is.
Sorry?
You can see all the way up to her, you know. She's practically naked in that uniform.
So the particular feature you recognize about the waitress is her outfit? But anyone could wear such a uniform, even me.
Mr. Wright, please spare the court any further mental anguish from that image.
Don't get all excited, Nick. Gotta keep yourself together.
I guess I got a bit carried away.
Alright.
There are other things I recognize about her, too.
He seems pretty sure of himself. Press harder. It's also within the range we pay my country for a cup of coffee. Really? I think you guys are getting scammed. $8 for a cup of coffee. That... Dang. Granted, I don't drink a lot of coffee myself, but that just sounds kind of high. Sure, you saw a waitress take the coffee over to the victim. But what matters is whether that waitress was Maggie Bird or not.
Quite right. Mr. Kudo, these other features that you recognize about the defendant, I would ask that you add them to your testimony.
Sure.
Ribbon in her hair and her apron straps were loose. Do you have a picture of Maggie wearing the apron, or... Huh. Yeah, there's a ribbon. Well, shit. You do seem to remember several details about her appearance. But what about the most crucial detail of all? Her face.
Gah! As if I wouldn't remember that.
The witness noticed the straps on the accused aprons. He's unlikely to make a mistake about her face.
That's right. I can even tell you the color of the ribbon in her hair. It was red.
The poison Glenn was given was called a woman's touch. He died shortly after. We checked his pants and, didn't like what we found. So you see, there's nothing wrong with the witness's eyesight.
Debatable. Johnny remembers the waitress pretty well. What should I do? I think there's more to this somehow. The straps thing kind of stuck out to me. Mr. Kudo, you seem especially interested in straps. Why is that?
What?
The ribbon in her hair, the straps on her apron. What's the fascination?
Fascination?
People have all kinds of fetishes, Trite. We don't need to embarrass the witness.
Listen, you young upstarts. I haven't got some sick strap fetish.
My neighbors just heard me say that. They know I'm a voice actor, but... You know.
Is there any relevance to the witness's unusual love of straps, Mr. Wright?
What even is Flop-A-Coin? It sounds like a Walmart version of Dogecoin. Even then, that sounds like something you'd find in Myers. Yeah, I don't know what Flop-A-Coin is either, but it sounds like... Yeah, it does sound like a gumshoe thing.
Hey there, Mr. Wright. Have you invested in Flop-A-Coin yet? It's a new thing all the youngsters are getting into.
Oh, and it crashed. I was just curious as to why he was so fixated on the waitress's straps.
I said I haven't got a strap fetish. How many times do I have to repeat myself?
Very well. Continue with the testimony, Mr. Kudo. And make it strapless.
I think old CD really... Nope. I know I messed it up. I got this. Waitress's back. The identifying features you described are all things you would see from the back.
So what?
Is it possible that You never saw the waitress from the front at all? Huh. He's got you there, Gramps. Kudo has a strap-on fetish. Ah! I'm not touching that either. Nope, nope. Well then, anyway, people normally talk about facial features when they're asked to describe someone. But this witness's testimony is nothing but straps and ribbons. This is harassment! I'm telling you I'm not obsessed with straps or ribbons! I'm just telling you what I saw! Mr. Kudo, the court requests that you add details about any identifying features. Features you observed from the front, that is, to your testimony. Sure. Oh, my testimony is getting longer and longer. I can't find a hole in it soon. If I can't find a hole in it soon, it'll get even longer, I bet. You didn't find anything to be distinct, but you did clearly see the witness's face, yes? No question about it. I didn't come this far to back down now. Victor Kudo never backs down. Maybe you should back down, though. It's not the answer I was looking for, but okay. Okay. I saw Maggie and he already wanted to pull out the behemoth strap on. So, not... There we go! Mr. Kudo, I would like you to please take a look at this.
Huh. That filthy thing would suit felt like you just perfectly. Actually, it reminds me of what my grandson looks like, just after he's done eating.
Have you ever seen this before?
Of course I haven't! Think I'd forget something as dirty as that?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Oh, I've seen Kaiju number 8. Yeah, that show's pretty good. I like it. It's a very simple show, but like, I don't know, I'm enjoying it right now. I think the first season was pretty good.
What? What is it? Ever since I said you half-witted cloth, there's been an eerie silence in here. Like a Cartoon Network sort of thing.
Mr. Kudo, this apron is the apron worn by the defendant on the day of the poisoning.
Huh?
And as you just said yourself, you wouldn't forget something like this. Which means if you had really seen this apron before... Yes, you know what I'm getting at. You couldn't have possibly seen the waitress from the front. Oops. This guy's a fucking mess.
You can't just oops your way out of this.
Hehe.
I thought...
Well, well. Looks like we finally have a genuine trial on our hands. Listen, Trite, here are the facts. On the day of the incident, there was only one waitress at the restaurant. That being the defendant, Miss Maggie Bird. Exactly. And when that one waitress was put... And when that one waitress put the poison into the coffee cup, this old guy was watching. I think I've seen Kaiju number 8 sold as individual issues, kind of like Marvel and DC do. These pages were colored and the spine of the book was on the left, not the right. Man, that just adds to all the weird stuff about that series. Like, also the anime. The anime was aired on Twitter. Like, they streamed it live on Twitter. Officially. And the ending was done by One Republic, and the opening was done by Youngblood. I feel like they might have been going for like more of like a Western style of doing things for the series in general, but like, I can't figure out why. Don't get me wrong, I like it, but it's weird that they do that. This old guy was watching. I hope you understand the gravity of the situation, Mr. Kudo. The fate of the defendant may rest on what you remember seeing. what you say you remember seeing. Just tell the court exactly what you saw, Gramps.
You can rely on me, Captain. My noggin's in perfect working order. I can't remember a single occasion when I forgot what burger a customer wanted.
And because of that, I thought Kaiju no Merit was a comic book series, like what that happened looked like manga, not the other way around. I mean, yeah, no, honestly, that would make sense. I feel like that would confuse most people. Honestly, just seeing the pages like the other way instead of having it be like on the right, I feel like that alone would confuse me. But yeah, no, that I fully understand being confused by that. I guess they just tried to change it around for like, I guess, ease of access in the West? I don't know. Can't remember? Probably like he's messed up so many times he's blocking it out. Very well. Let's test just how good your memory and attention to detail is, Mr. Kudo. Tell us what you remember about the victim.
He was another of those pesky young types wearing a broken pair of spectacles.
No,
He had a newspaper in his right hand, and the noisy brat kept rustling its pages. The young man was listening to the wireless. I remember it well.
Let's creative Kaiju number 8 is a comic book fan, which in case makes sense. Yeah, no, that would do it. What if that was like the specific order by the publisher? Like, he'll only write the series for us if we make it left-handed. Then so many publishers are just like, no, fuck it, I quit. Then he found one that was like, yeah, we'll do that. Why not? Sure.
And the serving girl in question brought over the Javachino. I don't know how to pronounce that. The little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip.
The testimony we have just heard was how to test how credible the witness's memory is. It seems to me that he remembers the victim in a great deal of detail.
Oh, yes. I hate those you-know-what types who are so vague about everything. How are we going to handle this, Nick?
We only need to do one thing. You just need to prove that the old man's memory is shot.
Just chip him up, you mean?
Isn't that kind of cruel? Maya, that is literally all we do. I suppose, but it's what I do best. I recall the creator of My Hero Academia releasing special edition volumes of his manga with covers that mimic the way Marvel used to do their covers. Really? I didn't know about that, but that makes a lot of sense, because I think he was, I mean, let's be real, very visibly, heavily inspired by superhero comics. I think he said Spider-Man was one of his favorites. I'm gonna save really quick. No, wait.
He was another of those pesky young types wearing a pair of broken spectacles.
He was wearing a scouter, yeah. Spectacles?
Dark glasses to you. One of the lenses was green, but the other was broken. Newfangled rubbish. That's why I remember him so well.
He'd have some kind of lens over his left eye. But I wouldn't have called it a pair of glasses.
He seems to be wearing some rather modern-looking shades. Perhaps I should take to wearing some and rival Mr. Godot's sharp appearance.
We better come up with something sharp and quick.
So I'll wait and see if I should challenge him about the spectacles. The newspaper was a sports paper, wasn't it? Deku was supposed to have no power, something that he would have had compensated with gadgets and skills, but the editor thought it was too silly. I mean, in a way I can kind of see that, just because when you get down to it, it's like, if the series was going to have the kind of villains it does have at this point, that would have been kind of a hard sell. Also because at that point, you could also make the argument of like, okay, well, if he's using all these gadgets, why doesn't everyone else just use them? Like, at the very least, like, you got Batman, right? Batman and Iron Man, both of them, even without their, like, suits, they still have a lot of intelligence. Meanwhile, Deku at the moment, or at least, like, at the beginning of the series, like, other than figuring out powers pretty easily from, like, other people, he didn't really seem to do a lot of, like, stuff, you know? I can see why that concept would have been a little hard to sell.
That young hooligan! I nearly asked him, can't you even read without fidgeting? Huh? How was I supposed to be able to read the back page with all that wrestling going on?
I need to find out if Guts and Braun retained his championship title. It was his paper, not yours. I know so bad, why didn't you buy your own? Why, what are you looking at me like that for, huh? Guts and Braun got beaten yesterday, by the way. Anyway. Oh, I get it. Guts and Braun. Okay. That's pretty good. The wireless. The wireless? The descendant. The decadent young rascal. In my day, it was one or the other. Read the paper or listen to the wireless. Oh, boy. And using an earpiece. It's selfish, that's what that is. I was straining my ears, but I couldn't catch any of it. Was he that desperate to listen to the radio? Also, I feel like it's been called the radio. And the serving girl in question brought over the Javachino. Little fidget picked up the cup with his... Oh, wait, yep. I do feel bad for Kuda, too old to change worldview, too bitter about life. Yeah, and his nose is like... He definitely has some kind of, like, disease with his nose. I mean, look at that. Like, why would it swell up that much and look that red? He's got to see a doctor, man. He's probably got a cold or something. The little fidget picked up the cup with his free... Oh, wait, I already said that. Damn it. Just to establish that his memory is Swiss cheese. You mean the waitress who you only saw from behind, right? You're one of those, are ya? You never let anything go, is that right? Maybe. What does it matter if I saw her from the front or from behind? My own eyes, but blah, blah, blah. I'm not push until I've got some hard evidence. His free hand? Yes. Which hand was that? Why aren't you listening before, cloth ears? I said he was wrestling the newspaper with his right hand, didn't I? His free hand wasn't his right hand, then which hand was it, you moron? Perhaps the great Mr. Trite has 3 hands. No, I actually have 3 legs, as your mother can attest to. Eesh, I was only asking. You're gang up on me and treat me like a freak. More holes than Swiss cheese. Do I have anything that contradicts that? Also could have sworn to God that the panels inside the Kaiju number 8 comic were rounded and not squared like the manga. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. That's interesting. Newspaper in his right hand, the noisy brat kept rustling the pages. I think I already saved, but let me just go ahead and do that again. Not that one. Newspaper in his right hand. Fuck. There's one about this game, it does load quickly. Picked up the cup with his free hand. That feels particular to me. Fuck. Listening to the wireless. Alright. Left eardrum. Okay. Fuck. Okay. One of these is bound to work. One of them. No, we're wrong button. Alright, what would make sense? Are people all superstitious in the US about using the left hand? I am, but for completely unrelated reasons. Not for the fact that it's US. In fact, people look at me as if I'm weird when I do that, but like... maybe some people, but I'd say for the most part, not. Wait, hold on. Fuck! There was no newspaper there, though. What happened to it? Huh. Fuck! One of these has to work. I literally cannot proceed without it working. It's got to. Not by victim, doodles in the victim's handwriting. MC Bomber, ah, 100,000. I don't get what that means. I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually. Maybe I already have, and I brought over the Javachino. Picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip. Oh, wait. There it is, because it would have to be his right hand, and then, okay. Mr. Kudo, do you remember what you were told at the start of this testimony? That this was a way of testing the credibility of your memory. I know. There's nothing wrong with my memory, I tell you. Nothing. If I get anything wrong, I'll eat these seeds and sing the pigeon song. Well, now I'm curious, what's the pigeon song? Care to tell us where this is going, Trite? Care to tell us where this is going, Trite? According to Mr. Kudo, the victim was holding the paper in his right hand, while drinking coffee with his free hand. Would make that his left. Ha! What is this, kindergarten? I mean, it is for me. You know McBomber, the sister company to McDonald's based on selling military equipment? I want to say that's not a real thing, but I don't have enough evidence to disprove it. It absolutely could be. Oh boy. Not to be confused with Ronald McDonald from Always Sunny, the famous character. But I would like the court to please take a look at this. That's the cup the victim used, correct? Yes, and on the rim you'll notice the mark left by the victim's lips. Yes, there's a stain left by the coffee. If you consider where that stain is, you'll clearly see that the victim was holding the cup in his right hand. But how? Huh? Well, Mr. Kudo, the court is... I missed that. Alright. You said you'd eat those seeds and sing the pigeon song. Mr. Kudo, I'm afraid this is simply not acceptable. I think the witness had better go back to the park where he came from. Wait! If you think I'm gonna stand there and listen to you tell me I'm mad, you're wrong. I don't care about that dirty coffee cup. I know what I saw. You still insist on your testimony? That young brat was holding the cup in his left hand. Oh, yes, no question. I'm a good, law-abiding citizen, I am. Is that the dead young hotbot in you? You spiky-haired yahoo who are at fault. Who, me? Thank you, old man. We've heard quite enough from you already. Don't call me old man, old man. Been around for 68 years, I have. You can't ignore me. Listen to what I've got to say.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but... Sure, why not hear a little more? Mr. Godot? But this is my 16th cup of coffee. This is your final stand.
Thank you, Captain. You can rely on Victor.
Only guilty people can't tell left from right.
Boy's wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs.
Okay, yeah.
He kept fiddling with it all the time. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup, too. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup. His left hand.
We know that the victim was wearing an unusual monocle over his left eye.
It wasn't a monocle, Your Honor. It was a small computer monitor often used by programmers.
A monitor? You mean like a television screen?
The inside of the lens is a screen that displays computer data. It's called an HMD. It's a common tool in the victim's line of work.
HD TV, DVD, CD, CD's nuts. All these newfangled letters drive me mad. But they don't matter.
What does the spec look like a Dragon Ball scanner? I know, right? I think that was the point, but I'm not entirely sure. That it just looks like a Dragon Ball reference. This looks on the same side. Exactly, yeah.
I know what I saw, and I'm telling the truth.
He's got a scouter. It's true. He doesn't seem to be lying.
And those are the facts in good old black and white.
Left hand or right hand? Just gonna... Same side as the green lens of his specs. Okay, yeah. Fiddling with it. Yep, probably because his ear was all messed up. Just before he picked up the cup, too. Let's hold on. Let's press him on this. The earpiece you mentioned, which hand did the victim touch it with?
You're one of those people, aren't you?
What do you mean, those people?
You're the type that uses your left hand to get things out of your right pocket. Or fastens your left cuff with your right hand.
Wait, hold on. What other hand are you supposed to use to fasten the left cuff? Your left hand? From what position?
And when the tour guide says on your right side, you'll see the famous blah blah blah. You're the only one who deliberately looks left. Well, aren't you?
No, I didn't mean...
Obviously, he used the hand on the same side of his body that the earpiece was in.
So if he had an HMD on his left side, that was his left hand, I guess. If the cup was already used for the other thing, I am now left with the question... And I was right to save. Alright. Fuck it, I'll press him on everything. So the victim was wearing an HMD. HD, yeah, okay.
It's none of them matter.
It was none of them, actually, but anyway. And you're sure he was wearing that earpiece on the same side?
No question. I can only see that side of his head from where I was sitting.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious if you look at the floor plans. Funny part is, this game canonically takes place in 2019. Wow, so he's like really out of place there, isn't he?
Huh. He kept fiddling with it all the time. He was fiddling with it just before I picked up the cup, too.
Oh wait, I already did that.
What do you think?
I think the guy's telling the truth. And so, something's not quite right.
And chuck evidence at him until he breaks.
How long are you streaming for today? I'm probably gonna finish up this trial, then call it. But if he's not lying, there wouldn't be any contradictions in his testimony, right? And since we're probably about to end the trial, probably another 10 minutes or so. We'll see. Yeah, we just talked about that. It seems you kept an eye on Mr. Glenn Elg. He was getting on my nerves. Rustling that newspaper and fiddling with his earpiece all the time. When he made all that fuss dying from just one ship of Javachino. I wanted to say to him, calm down, you young brat. Just looking at him made me suddenly speed up my seed eating. I could have choked. So I take it the victim was a walking ball of nervous energy? You already did that. You seem very sure of yourself, Mr. Kudo. That's because I know what I saw, no matter what tricks you try to play on me. It looks like you really did see the guy picking up the cup with his left hand. It's a dead end. Huh. On the green lens of his specs. Sorry, but that's actually turquoise. Just before we picked up the cup, too. Huh. What would it be? Doesn't look like he's wearing an earpiece from the front. In fact, yeah, there's like nothing in that. Nothing in his ear. I do love to see how people imagine future technology and like future buildings and stuff, because people will just think like, oh yeah, we're just gonna tear down all the infrastructure and rebuild like really futuristic buildings, which doesn't really happen that often, you know? Like I feel like it'd be more likely they just like build new technology into the old buildings, you know? I just find it funny how everyone imagines like a huge futurescape city, and it's like, I think Family Guy made a joke about that, like, well yeah, of course the buildings look the same. It's only been like 30 years. Just how back in Back to the Future they traveled 30 years in the future in 2015, and the place filled with robots and flying cars, and now we're in 2024, and yep, fucking nothing. Don't have giant robots, don't have flying cars, don't have time machines. Nothing interesting. Maybe the medicine? There it is! I'm not sure what the relevance of this is, but... Mr. Kudo, there was something very strange about your observations of the victim. What? You say he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the HMD. No question. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. I could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting. I don't think so. What did you say? You're no doubt unaware of this fact, Mr. Kudo, but the victim couldn't hear with his left ear. His eardrum was ruptured. Skynet is supposed to take over the world in 5 years from now in 2029. Yeah, you know what? That I can actually see happening. They're using AI in a lot of things nowadays. And I don't think it'll be like take over the world level in 5 years, but I tell you what, you know, if we need Skynet to draw a bunch of pictures of anime women, that it can do. And that'll be the problem. That'll be our downfall. That's the part of Terminator that didn't show you. You know, they didn't show Terminator, like, they didn't show Arnold Schwarzenegger spitting out pictures of, like, naked anime women. But that's the part that you gotta be worried the most about. Yeah. Traces of medication for his condition were found in his ear canal. That's right. It's impossible that the victim was wearing his earpiece in his left ear. Because he couldn't even hear in that ear. Is that true, Captain? It is. Pigeon! Pigeon, pigeon! Pretty pigeon! He's eating both his words and all those seeds. Yeah, for context, most of the buildings built during the communist era of my country are still used. Hell, I live in one. Oh boy, that... yeah. Like, no one's just gonna tear down perfectly good buildings. If they work, they work, you know? The witness's testimony is completely unreliable. He only saw the waitress from behind, and he claims the victim was wearing an earpiece when we know his eardrum was ruptured. Well, Mr. Godot? A single drop of milk is all it takes to destroy the pure black magic in the cup. This old man is my drop of milk. Literally had no reason to tear down so much functional infrastructure. Exactly. Yeah. If it works, it works. Captain, are you calling me a drip? This is the victim's coffee cup in which the potassium cyanide was found. The mark on the rim clearly shows that the victim picked it up with his right hand. I'll never back down! I know I'm right! Don't you mean left? The lad drank his Javachino with his left hand! Let me put you out of your misery. Clearly the victim used both hands. Took a sip with the cup held in his right hand and switched to his left. That's what the old man saw. Impossible. The witness doesn't have a left hand. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't have a right... Fuck. The witness has already testified on numerous occasions that the victim died immediately after taking just one sip of the coffee. Which hand the victim used to pick up his coffee is irrelevant, Your Honor. The facts still stand. With one hand or the other, Mr. L drank the poisoned coffee. Like this. Sadly, Mr. Godot, that doesn't wash. What? Is that a term? The point of this testimony was to establish whether the witness's memory is credible. And the results are clear. The testimony given by this witness is useless. It's so interesting how words change their meaning so drastically over the years. Drip, from my understanding, used to mean bum, but now drip is used as a compliment. Yeah, I had no idea what drip was for a while, and people kept saying, like, oh yeah, he's got the drip, and it's like, what? How did that even come to mean clothes? Who decides these things? The Patriots? Like, a lot of words just wind up meaning random things eventually, and I just don't understand it. But, hey, you know, gotta stick with the times. Reminds me of a DC comic from the 60s about Joker's boner machine. Okay, I see where you're going with this. Yeah. I believe it is time to conclude today's proceedings. I need to go look up the boner machine. I am satisfied that the witness is not deceiving the court. But to be frank, his testimony is a farce. Did you have to be so frank? Take that, you pompous old fogey. Calling him a fogey, that's... You're 68. I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, you can't reach me from there. Also, I'm arresting you on the grounds of assaulting a judge. I'm ordering the defense and prosecution to investigate this case further. That is all for now. This court is adjourned. Oh, what the fuck? Wait! If we stop now, where does that leave me? Where does that leave you? The same place as always! Leave you, Mr. Kudo? Thanks to that blue-suited young upstart over there. I'm just a bumbling old man who can't even dot his T's across his I's now. I'm gonna write your text bubble exactly as the comic, just so you can understand what I mean. With the power of this boner machine, Batman won't stand a chance. How is your bad memory my fault? I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but there's nothing I can do. I've kept my mouth shut until now, but there's something else the court should know. What? What? There's more? To be perfectly honest, it might not be anything. But I want another chance! I want another crack at you, you young shark! Me? He's looking at me like I'm some sort of evil shogun. Well, everyone, what do you say to one final showdown? A final chapter in this eccentric old man's scrapbook. Sorry, Gramps. I've already had my 17th cup of coffee.
So they'll laugh at my boner, will they? I'll show them ill. I'll show them. I'll show them how many boners the Joker can make.
You know, in true Joker fashion, that is actually really funny. It just took a long time to be funny. Props to him. That's amazing. The boner machine. Oh my god. By saying that he is reading a newspaper named Joker's Boner, I'm not... No, see, I fully believe you. I do not doubt that that's a thing.
What have you got to lose, Captain? I'll give you all the Javachino you want if you come to my house after the trial. I may be 68 years old, but Victor Kudo is still a man.
That's enough, witness. I believe it will be quicker for the court to just hear your testimony.
You bet. Much, much quicker.
I can't believe this is happening. I mean, in fairness, there have been several trials where it was already over, then we got something, so, you know, this is only fair.
Ha ha ha! You better get ready, youngster.
I get the picture. Just quit throwing those seeds at me, would ya? He's gotta be using some sort of infinite ammo code with that box of seeds. This old man hacked life just to get seeds to throw at people. Must be the power of the boner machine.
First of all, I want to stress that this might be nothing. I'm not too sure of myself. The young boy slumped over the table as soon as he took one sip of his Javachino. Well, that clumsy idiot upset the vase. He knocked it right over. It broke, and the strip of cloth covering the table got completely soaked. Hey, it's another strip. Well, how's about that? Turn things upside down,
What?
Is that all?
Yes, that's all. I remember it perfectly. You're doubting me again? You're doubting a poor, defenseless old man?
No, we're not doubting you, Mr. Kudo.
Don't you get the feeling there's a question hanging in everyone's lips, Nick? Yeah. So what? Probably. Next bubble says, the emphasis on boners has given me an idea for a new adventure in crime. Gotham City will rue the day it mentioned the word boner. Oh my god. I need to, like, make a video where I just dub that part of the comic. That's fantastic. Oh my god. The newspaper article is a reading I literally called Joker Pulls Boner of the Year. Oh my god, I am way too immature to look at that and not laugh. Alright. That's fantastic. God, so what? Probably. That's all I can think of, and I have to cross-examine this guy.
You're a bird brain, that's why that's all you can think of.
Very well. Mr. Wright, your final cross-examination, please.
I'm positive this is nothing. Uh-huh. Knocked it right over. Do I have anything that shows that it didn't? Oh my fucking god. Really? Let me just in case this is wrong. Apparently boner used to mean blunder. That makes sense. But then how did that come to... Never mind. Quickest objection in the West. Mr. Kudo, this is a photograph of the crime scene.
So what?
Look carefully at the table. Face is there, intact.
Huh?
Lost your tongue, Granddad?
I'm no granddad of yours, Hopscotch.
Enough! If there are any more seeds in this courtroom, the cleaners will be here all night. What is it now? I just remembered something. Oh my fucking god!
Yes. Go on. Broken vase. That was on my table. What? Well, you see, it startled me when the young lad collapsed, and so I stood up, and that must have been when it fell over. Vase on my table, I mean.
The vase on your table.
Yes, it was on my table. With the formalities, young blood, you can call me Granddaddy. Come on, Dennis, talk to Daddy. And that's how my groin came to be completely soaked. That's all?
Thank you, Mr. Kudo. You've certainly earned your kudos for today.
I'd like to ask a question now. Have I been any use at all?
Perhaps that's something you should reflect on yourself, Mr. Kudo.
Wait a minute. If that's the case, there's more. I've got more to say. No, the fuck you don't.
Bailiff, escort the witness out of the courtroom.
Wait, listen to me.
Well, we seem to have been considerably sidetracked. And I am still not in the position to deliver a verdict.
I bet you $5 they named him Victor Cooter just for that one joke. That's gotta be it. I can't think of any other joke for his name. Like, they had that guy, like, Guts and Brawn they mentioned, and that makes sense. That's Guts and Brawn. You know, that's funny.
The defendant has not been positively identified as the waitress in question. Additionally, there are 2 disparities in the testimony we have heard thus far.
The mark on the coffee cup that the victim supposedly drank from with his left hand, and the earpiece which was inserted into his left ear, out of which he could not hear. Wow, Nick, you did it!
I therefore require both the defense and the prosecution to further investigate the facts.
Yes, Your Honor.
There is one more thing before I call today's session to an end.
One more thing, Your Honor?
The witness we just heard from, he is most insistent that his testimony should be of use. So we summarized it accordingly into this statement.
Okay.
You may each have a copy of it if you wish.
Whatever. The prosecution doesn't need props like that.
The prosecution doesn't need props like that.
Godot is really mad, huh?
Yeah, I would be too.
Very well. See what I mean when I say that I feel bad for Kudo? He feels obsolete, a sentiment a lot of old folks can relate to, especially with how fast the world is moving. Yeah, especially because he, like, used to be good at something, and then that thing just kind of fell out of fashion. Time just kind of moved past him.
Here you are then, Mr. Wright. There are 3 copies. My own, yours, and Mr. Godot's. Mr. Godot's.
Yes, Your Honor. Victor's testimony at the court record. Oh god, this is gonna come up later, isn't it? I'm sorry, this isn't a piece of testimony. Like a 5-year-old's apology. What the heck are we supposed to do with 3 copies?
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Somehow that took longer than I expected. Well, either way, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Arrowhead, your favorite other famous all-time boaters. Oh, that's one last laugh for the roads. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back on Tuesday with another stream. If you want to see my schedule for the week, that'll be coming out tomorrow. Have a lovely morning, day, or evening, everyone. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. And goodbye for now.
Objection!
No, it's immature, but my god, I could not read any newspapers from the 60s. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be able to either. See ya, everybody.